Good morning and welcome to Fast Horses Today. Today is Super Bowl Sunday. It is February 9th, and happy Super Bowl Sunday to all. I certainly am ready for it. I've got my Chiefs shirt here. I've been a Chiefs fan for a long time, so hoping for a big game from them and a big win for the home of the Chiefs. Got some horses here at Santa Anita that I like as well. Santa Anita runs their card a little earlier to try to get everyone home in time to watch the Super Bowl. So they've got an early post there. First post time for Santa Anita today is 11 o'clock Pacific, so 1 o'clock here in the Central Time Zone. I'm going to skip over the first few races. I know they got a pick six carryover today at Santa Anita, which starts in the fourth race. I'm not going to play a pick six today, but I am going to play a late pick five, and I do have a couple win bets here on Super Bowl Sunday. So let's get started, move over to the fifth race at Santa Anita. This has an approximate post time of 1 o'clock there Pacific, so 3 o'clock here in the Central Time Zone. This is a maiden special weight Calbred, 6 furlongs on the grass, so that's the flat grass, and this is 4-year-olds and up. And I've got a couple horses here that I want to start this pick 5 off with, and I do have a win bet as well. So I'm going to put in the 1 Kanani. Librato Baraccio brings this horse in. You know, Kyle Frey is on the horse. Couple changes here. Blinkers off. They're changing the distance. This horse we saw run back in a couple weeks ago in mid-January, and I thought that he ran a pretty nice race at a mile on the grass. It was his first time going 2 turns. I thought he ran really nicely. Ended up getting beat. You know, he came third. He got beat by a horse named Desert Rocket and also another horse, Victory Matters. And I don't really find any shame in that, because those 2 horses, you know, were really on the wire there. Either of them could have won. He ended up coming third there. I thought those 2 horses that were right there were really ready to win that day. So Kanani, I think shortening up to this 6 probably should help him. Kyle Frey, work out a trip, 9-2. We've got Kanani. And then also I'm going to put the 5, who is Charlie Pride, for Phil D'Amato, Antonio Fresu. Now, we've seen these guys pair up and do some nice work over the past few seasons over there in Southern California. This horse has really nice breeding. You know, this comes from, is a homebred for Nick Alexander, who certainly sends a lot of horses to Phil D'Amato. The mother here, Enola Gray, she was a nice racehorse and, you know, has some siblings and, you know, a couple offspring who were, you know, pretty good as well. And this horse is by Arrogate. So, you know, they ended up sending Enola Gray over to a really, you know, high-priced sire in Arrogate. This horse had 1 start last year. It was last spring. Ended up making a bit of a mess of the start and came second to a horse named Moon Ice. And Moon Ice last spring was just one of those horses who was just overdue to win, had been running some nice races, and then just finally put it all together that day. So Charlie Pride running second to Moon Ice certainly, I think, is an accomplishment there. Fresu takes the call today. Tyler Bays was on that horse yesterday, last year. 7-2 today. I think the horse has been working out nicely. You know, and you know, as I've said before, I don't mind horses coming off layoffs in turf sprints. I think good trainers know what to do and get them ready. So I'm going to put the 1 and the 5, and I'm going to make a win bet on the 5, Charlie Pride. All right, now let's go to the 6th race of the day. 6th race is a maiden, California maiden claimer, 12.5 claimer, 5.5 on the dirt. Now these are 3-year-olds, so I mean these are, you know, your bottom rung horses there nowadays in Southern California. You know, a lot of Northern California horses there. I'm going to put 2 horses in. I'm going to make a little win bet here. I'm going to put the 2, who is Far Overloaded, for Felix Rondon, and Cristobal Herrera is on the horse there. Now, Felix has been sending horses down and, you know, just seem to be a little bit of bad luck. Hasn't found the winner's circle yet. So this horse, you know, has a couple changes for today, which I think are going to help. So this is a first-time gelding, Lasix first time, and Herrera gets back on the horse, which he's ridden this horse before. I just think this horse run with better. This dip in class should make this horse much faster. As we've seen over the last few days, some of these Northern California races, when horses have made a big drop, it's really seemed to make a difference and make them faster. Those horses seem to run. So I'm going to put the win bet on Far Overloaded, who is 7-2. That's the 2 horse. And then for pick 5 purposes, I'm going to put the 2, as well as I'm going to put the 9, who is True Mantra, for Tim McCanna, Frank Alvarado. This horse has a couple starts under his belt. Last time he was in for this 12.5 level over at Pleasanton, he was like 2-5 that day, ended up losing on the wire. You know, as we've preached here, with these lower level horses, you know, they don't always put together strings of consistent races, and that's why they're running for this. So, you know, we'll put True Mantra in. for the pick 5. See if he could run similar to what he did last time. He's 4-1. All right, now let's move over to the next race of the day. Next race being the 7th race. This is the feature on the card. The 6.5 down the hill, always a beautiful thing. This is the Sweet Life. This is a $100,000 listed race for 3-year-old fillies. And I'm going to put 3 horses in this race here to get this pick 5, progressed along, I'm hoping. I'm going to put the 4, who is Tequila and Therapy for Doug O'Neill, Edwin Maldonado. This horse has run some nice races. I mean, they've tried a couple different things with her. She's run on the dirt. She's run on the turf. She's done well, run different distances. And it just seems like she's just a very, hard-knocking horse and just puts great efforts together. So 9-2, we'll see what she does down the hill. Hasn't done this yet, but I don't think any of them have, this early in their career. So I like her last race. She ended up running in the Cal Cup Oaks, which was a mile race, and Maldonado had her drop back pretty far, and she ended up coming running, and she ran third to a horse named Take Another Card, who seems to be a very highly regarded Calbred, and I just thought that was a nice race. So let's see if Maldonado can get this horse a little closer down the hill and make a run. That's the 4, Tequila and Therapy. I am going to put the favorite, who is Casalou, Bob Baffert, and Flavian Pratt. This horse 7-5 in the program. She certainly warrants the favoritism based on her record. She's done some nice running on the dirt and the turf, but looks like Baffert has chosen to go the turf route with this horse. So she's come off a couple stakes races, and they were both mile on the grass. One over at Del Mar, she came second in the Grade 3 Jimmy Durante, and ended up running second to a nice horse, Will Then. Came back and followed that up with a nice mile grass racer in the Blue Northern, where she won, and ended up beating a couple of these horses. So certainly warrants the favoritism. Pratt is back in town to ride, 7-5. We'll put her in there. And then finally, I'm going to put the 9 horse, who was acquitted, for Richard Mandela, Juan Hernandez, on the mount here. This horse, nicely bred horse, homebred for Spendthrift, by Into Mischief out of a Sky Mesa mare. And, turf seems to be, where the breeding is. She has one win, broke her maiden, 6 furlongs on the flat grass at Santa Anita in a nice race and a nice speed figure. I'm not exactly sure what happened in the Jimmy Durante last year. It looks like she probably kind of grabbed the bit and pushed for the lead, which, fought the jock. I don't know. It just wasn't the best of spots. So maybe shortening up to 6.5 down the hill should be good. And, as we've seen, one of the few people who have gotten it done beating Bob Baffert has been Richard Mandela this meet, so we'll put the 9 acquitted there. So we've got the 4, the 5, and the 9. All right, now let's move over to the next race of the day, that being the 8th race. This is a starter allowance race, geared towards the Northern California horses to come down and run. This is a starter allowance where you will have had to have run for $5,000 or less, or if you want to put your horse in for a $6,250 claim price, you can do that as well. 6 furlongs on the dirt, and these are 4-year-olds and up. Just a lightly, talented bunch. I'm going to put 3 horses here. I feel like one of these 3 should cover it and get us moving to the last leg. I'm going to put the 5, No Dioro, for Victor Trujillo, and Kyle Frey takes the call. Now, this horse has run a couple good races up north. We last saw this horse run with Better here at Santa Anita, and, was a hopeless long shot. They ran with Wound Up and a couple other horses where there was no match for them. There were a couple in this race that came out of that race, and, this is certainly a bigger dip in class. So 9-2 on No Dioro certainly fits here. I'm going to put the 6, Love Candy, Samuel Calavario, and Cristobal Herrera. Now, Herrera has a couple live ones. We'll see if he can get a multi-race winning day there at Santa Anita, which would be, very, very nice for him. Now, Calavario also has been sending horses down and having, a little tough luck. Hasn't found the winner's circle yet, but maybe this one does. This horse has run with Better. He's dropping. And, as we saw, when these horses drop in these Northern California style races, they end up, seeming to run a lot better. So 4-1, we'll put Love Candy. And then I'm going to put the favorite, Major Tom, 4-5. And this is for Jorge Moravilla is the trainer, and Kevin Orozco. Horse is dropping. He's 4-5. We'll just put him in. Don't want to get knocked out by a horse like that. So I've got the 5, the 6, and the 7. All right, now let's move over to the last race of the day. Last race being the 9th race. Now this has an approximate post time about 3 o'clock there Pacific, so 5 o'clock here Central. So that gives you about a half hour to cash your pick 5 tickets or pick 6 tickets or whatever you bet, and then get on to your Super Bowl plans, which start about a half hour later. So kind of a tight window there. So anyway, this is a mile on the grass starter allowance. This is for horses who have started for $25,000 or less, or if you want to put your horse in for a claiming price of $32,000, you can do that as well. I think it's a tough bunch of horses. It's one of those where riders certainly can make a difference, and if they can make a trip, definitely some old timers in this race. We've been seeing this now in Southern California at Santa Anita. A lot of old timers are back running. 8-year-olds, 9-year-olds, and they're winning. And you got to wonder. I hope the folks over at Santa Anita might take a look in the mirror and say, hey, why haven't we had this the last many years? Because these horses still have a lot of life left in them, a lot of ability left in them, and a lot of them just want to run. You've seen it over the last couple days. Some of these old timers, 8-year-olds, 9-year-olds, are just running hard and getting to the winner's circle. I love seeing it. I bring on more of it, please. All right, so I got 4 horses here. Hoping that we can have a nice pick 5 going here with 4 horses to pay off. I've got the 3 Fantastic Peter Urton. That is a 9-year-old. Juan Hernandez gets on this horse. This horse has been running in the allowance level and, just running even races, pops with a better race here and there. They got realistic. They're putting this horse in for the $32,000 claim, 7-2. Certainly fits here and as, dangerous here in this race. Going to also put the 4, who is Terry's boy, Jeff Mullins. Mullins has been doing everything right there and, doing everything right on the turf as well because, as we know, he does focus a lot more on turf racing. Terry's boy gets Flavian Pratt on him for the first time. Another horse, Hard Trier, has been knocking around in claimers. He's 3-1, certainly dangerous here, and it's tough to go against Flavian Pratt. Going to put the 5, who is Hurricane Cloud, Richard Baltus, Antonio Fresu. Now this horse I know, had a pretty good campaign at Del Mar and had some nice races, a string of 3 nice races at Del Mar in the claiming ranks, and it comes out of his last race being an allowance race here at Santa Anita. Ran with much better. It was a first level allowance. Ran with horses like C. Singer, who came back to win, and Pax Wallop. So those horses certainly are higher level than what he's running here. 9-2. Hurricane Cloud certainly warrants a play here and could be dangerous. Then finally going to put the 9 horse. 9 horse being Yakovlev. Also for Jeff Mullins. So as we said, Mullins has been doing a lot right here. He's got Hector Barrios on the horse. Hector's ridden this horse before. Now this horse comes out of some sprint races, so he's going to be going 2 turns, but the horse has definitely run 2 turns and run some nice races over at Gulfstream Park. Is 1 for 2 at Santa Anita on the grass, so has a win, so certainly likes the surroundings over there in Arcadia. Coming off a win in his last race and a starter allowance, he does qualify because this horse had run for 25 back last year at Gulfstream. So 5-1, Hector Barrios. That's Yakovlev. So that's the 3, 4, 5, and 9 in the last race. All right, now let's recap the day and recap the tickets. Okay, so today, Super Bowl Sunday, February 9th. We got a few bets here. We got a late pick 5, and then we've got a couple win bets over at Santa Anita. Okay, so in 5th race, starting to pick late pick 5, we've got 1-5 with 2-9 with 4-5-9 with 5-6-7 with 3-4-5-9, and that pick 5 today costs $72. Also, we've got the win bet of the 5 in the 5th race and the 2 in the 6th race. So as always, if you see fit, you could play as is. If you want to add or subtract, you can do that as well. You do what fits you. Now, on Fast Horse today, I center the show around making a pick 5 ticket, but it's always a good idea to just watch what we talk about here within the races, because certainly a lot of good information is given out and good winners are given out. And if you could follow some of those, you can hit some nice winners, hit some nice exactas, maybe doubles, that kind of thing. So as I said, if you like to play as is, you can do so. If you like playing the pick 3s within it, the pick 4 within it, the doubles, you do what fits you. It fits you best. So whatever you decide to do, I wish you the best of luck. Let's wish the folks over at Santa Anita a great safe day of racing. Let's wish ourselves some good trips and good luck for ourselves. So, as always, I ask you to do me a favor, hit the subscribe button. Doesn't cost you anything to do so. Like, dislike, make comments. Let's create a discussion. I appreciate that. So as always, I thank you so much for watching Fast Horses today. on Super Bowl Sunday. Let's make it a great day over at Santa Anita, the Great Race Place, and enjoy your Super Bowl Sunday, whoever you might be rooting for. But go Chiefs. Go Chiefs.